Dude, this Blue Lotus I just ground up, dude, looks so fucking good.
Mm.
Blue Lotus. That sounds sexy.
Dude, it is some tasty dankness for sure.
Blue
I really
Lotus.
enjoy this company. I don't know if you guys have them out where you're at. Maven Genetics.
I don't
But
think
dude,
so.
they have some really, really solid stuff, dude. Their cold cure, so good.
Yeah, what have you boys been
shotgun
smoking on lately?
Fortnite called the Maven.
Dude,
Oh, sorry, Blake. Go ahead.
I've been
Oh, I was
dabbing
just
a lot
saying
of
what have you been
cold
eating?
cure rosins lately. It's like in my jam. Anything cold cure variant. Just can't beat the flavor, can't beat the overall, uh just high on it, dude. They're just so good, man. Like right now I've got 4 different strains. I've got some Dole Whip cold cure, some papaya punch, which is fucking delicious, some guava Z, and what's this? Trop Santo. Not sure what that is, but they're all fucking tasty.
We get some of that out here. Yeah, we've had some Trop Santo out here. I didn't know how to spell it. I mean, I didn't know how to say it.
Yeah,
I was from like Northeast. Ours wasn't very good. We never got any good stuff, right, John?
No.
yeah. And then I've got a little
No.
bit of some live resin batter here from dude. This company Bear Labs. You guys probably don't have them out where you're at, but they have some of the tastiest like concentrates, bro. And they're like priced fairly like nicely. Like I think these were like 33 a gram or something like that for these. And
Ridiculous, right?
Flavors there.
Yeah, we don't get that out
there.
here.
That's like street price here. If you're lucky.
Well, dude, I paid 46 just for the cold cure. 46 a gram.
Cold
Dude, that's
cure rosin
crazy,
in
man.
Massachusetts is like $80 a gram.
Is that and is there tax on top of both of those, like the 46?
Yeah, it would be like
or no?
$80 plus
20%.
tax. So you'd
Yeah.
be paying about $90 to $100 for that
would-
gram in Massachusetts.
I had my receipt here the other day, but I think I threw it away.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, Sean, I've been on that 253 kick.
Oof. Yeah,
But bro, I've been on the their Strawana Gushers, and I just picked up their Go-Gurts. So between those two and then some frozen white runts, those like
runs,
dude,
bro.
Oh, I mean all runts, yeah, anything like that. But I've been going to a different spot, get it pretty cheap. So
oh yeah, what'd you find?
I mean, we all know I love Halifax, dude. I'll still go there. But
yeah,
Canavana and Rocklands.
Yeah,
bro, me and my girl, we got a half ounce of 253, and it was all packaged in like August or September, and it was like $100, maybe 110
for half
ounce.
That ain't bad, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Listen, no joke. And I was just saying this to somebody the other day. There's a problem with who the purchaser for the company has always been, and his tactics with companies. And I think that was, something that had to eventually change, because as you're talking about right now, like plenty of other people can offer a much better deal. And I think it just speaks to volumes to the way that some people did business with those companies, and why those brands would only be willing to move so much and cut such a deal. But
keep in mind that spot I go to is probably like one of the busiest ones in the state. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've been told. So they do a ton of volume.
There's so many other places too. I've been being told there's a spot up in Middleborough right now that's offering killer deals. Like again, like sort of like what the prices James is talking about, where they're doing like $45 rosin grams. So
wow.
People are out here.
Wild.
They're able to do it. And I think that sometimes what's happening is that some people just, the way they do business, they're not getting the same deals. You know what I mean?
Dude, they get lucky too, because they'll do like discounted deals on shit out here and stuff too. I know you guys aren't allowed to discount shit out there, but dude, there's times where I'll go in and I'll buy one, get one for $1 on some shit
Yeah.
sometimes. And it'd
Well,
be
so
like
it's
the
weird.
high price shit. Like I'll go and get that Bear Lab stuff, buy one for 33, get another one for $1.
It's weird, dude. They can do deals, but they can't do deals. It's as somebody who had to do the marketing, right? Like I can talk about this openly nowadays. Because I never signed an NDA. Got him. Anyway. But in all seriousness, there are restrictions to what you're allowed to say when it comes to offering a deal. You're not explicitly forbidden from having deals. So you can just serendipitously start dropping your price on a product. That's totally allowed. You just can't call it a price cut or a sale. The price just has to mysteriously drop. And the consumer has to be aware of it and be like, hey, this was, $45 yesterday and now it's $30 today. What gives?
It's almost time for a new bag, boys.
So you're allowed to like dramatically drop price and you're just not allowed to advertise it, but you can mention it.
Yes, that's the fucked
So
up
like
thing.
you as an employee could be like, if they're like, yo, anything new in today? And you're like, actually, we don't really have much new, but this was this yesterday and it got discounted.
100%. Your bud tender could be like, absolutely. You know what? This just dropped price and it's cheaper today. And you could be like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna grab it today.
I went the other when I went last week or this past Thursday to the dispensary. Since I spent over $100, I got a free hat, bro.
Ooh,
is it like a wearable hat?
Yeah, it's like a legit snapback. Hold on.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it wasn't slang for like more weed.
You just sit up front and be like, yo, anybody got a gram? I'll give you this hat. It's brand new.
Stizzy, bro.
Yeah, that's
nice
not bad.
maroon fucking snapback, bro.
Kind of like that maroon color, actually.
Yeah, me too, bro. I have a fucking Dixon flannel, this same exact color. So I was like, dude, let me get the fucking hat to match, bro.
Sick. Yeah, like that's another thing. Like that's totally allowed, but you can't advertise it. So like a great example.
Yeah, I didn't know until I purchased something. They're like, oh, by the way, since you spent $100, you get a hat.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, cool.
We're gonna do a promotion back at the dispensary for Mother's Day. We're gonna give a rose to every mother that came in. That was not allowed because that sounded like it was a promotion to drive people to come into the store. So instead, the way that we had to do it was you were offered a rose at the door, no matter whether you came in to make a purchase or not. The second you were ID'd, you were offered the rose. And that was okay.
Weird.
Yeah. That's the kind of like weirdness of navigating that sort of shit.
Yo, man, I just came here to get weed. And now you're pushing roses on me for free? What the fuck?
Right? Dude, like you'd be surprised how many people genuinely like, what? Like they genuinely got offended. And I was like, this is fucking weird. But okay.
They were like, what's the catch?
Yeah. You should have just had like a big sign on the inside with like a vase of roses and it said like to all the mothers out there, any mother take a rose.
Well, and that was the thing, right? I said it was like it was a picture. It was like you can take this rose and give it to your mom or to your loved one or what have you. And like, just nope. Some people weren't into it. Some people were, and that's the fun and game of that kind of business.
Dude, the people that were rejected were probably the people that like were forever scarred from like the she loves me not, and they would do it with roses as opposed to daisies.
Dude, there was definitely one dude I remember because I was working the door at one period during that, and he definitely got animated about it, and I was like, damn, who hurt you? Like who hurt you?
What a fucking monster hurt you. You know what I mean?
God. Do you need me to play you some Blink 182?
Dude, speaking of Blink 182, Sean, yo, you hear that there's like new They just put out a new album.
Oh, I heard the whole
They're
new album.
reunited and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think of it? Honestly.
Honestly, I'm not that impressed.
Okay.
I'm a little let down.
It seems kind of more mainstream than anything that they've done in the past. You know what I mean? But also, I think it's just due to the time. You know what I mean?
It could be the time. It could be their age. They might not be like angsty or something, but I think it's all right. I mean, because this is the way that I'm thinking about it, right? So
I will say this: it's cool. You know what I mean? It's
I would
cool that
rather listen to it than 99% of other songs that are new songs that are getting played on the radio. I would say that. Like, that's my compliment to it. But like for me, I just see it as like, dude, they're older than I am. They're like probably like Mark's probably almost 50. You know what I'm saying? So like I think that Travis might be my age. He's the youngest one in the band.
Yeah.
He might even be a bit older than me as well. I don't know what maybe he's born in the 70s. But like I just feel like it's still not bad because when Tom left and was doing like Angels and Airwaves, like it was way more on that like pop. I don't want to say like dance club vibe, but it was almost like a pop dance club vibe. Like a lot of the beats and the tracks were like really like dance worthy.
I never even heard that.
You never heard Angels and Airwaves?
No, the only side project from Tom DeLonge I ever heard was Boxcar Racer.
Nah, dude, Angel and Airwaves. It's like him and another guy, which I don't know. I don't know that much about them actually, but
they had like one or two pretty popular songs.
I think that they did have something that made some traction.
Remember, I was a Juggalo kid probably during that stage
I'm just saying,
of
like,
their career.
No,
I'm not saying it would have been on your radar, but it was definitely being played on like most.
It'd be like probably 2000
alternative stations at the time, or they definitely were playing it like
ish.
Because I remember,
isn't that dude wicked into UFOs?
Tom DeLonge's wicked into UFOs,
big time, bro.
Like he's definitely out there.
Like even in the early days of Blink-182 with the song "Aliens Exist," he was writing about it.
Well, shit. What do you say, boys? Should we get this thing rocking,
bro?
We've already gone.
I would say we already been rocking.
That's what I'm saying. Let's get it official, though.
So Gita, you know what to do. Hit that record button because it's time to Shedtime podcast in 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Shedtime. What is Shedtime, you ask? Well, it's code for the consumption of cannabis, but it's much more than that. Shedtime's a state of mind. It's art, it's music, it's cryptocurrency, technology, it's food, it's vaping. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're not letting the bastards get you down, not being a dick, and making it fun. When you're in the shed, it's whatever your mind allows you to create. So now let's get to the Shedtime podcast.
And with some fancy editing, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here once again with our brother in arms, Blake, over there at the Fit Fam Busted Body Language himself. And brother in arms is a great double entendre since we're talking fitness and getting gains. So welcome back, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys. It's been a bit, but I'm excited to be back here with you guys. Smoking some weed, talking about fitness, eating apple pie, you know.
Hell yeah,
yes.
Dude.
Yo,
cover it all.
Speaking of that, I actually encountered something this weekend that blew my mind. My wife and I stopped for lunch at this little roadside deli, actually fork in the road down the street from Halifax.
I heard it's fire, dude.
Dude, it's such a good little deli. It's all boar's head meats, so it's all quality stuff, and they're not stingy. So you get good food for your price that you pay. But they had this cool little thing as a dessert on the counter. Apple pie egg rolls.
Yo, that actually sounds fucking amazing.
I had to try it, bro. It was so good. Just some apple pie filling and egg rolls.
Why not?
What can't you put in an egg roll, dude? Like,
so
really,
true.
Think about it.
So true.
Like, I've been getting these steak and cheese egg rolls lately,
dude.
And
Hot
like,
take.
I don't want steak and cheese any other way.
Hot take. I don't like egg rolls.
What?
Whoa!
Yeah. I said hot take, bro.
Wait.
Not an egg roll.
Any egg roll, like period, like the coating, like the
you don't like the egg roll wrapper?
Well, like the wrapper, I don't necessarily mind. It's just like I'm not into like I don't like a spring roll. You know what I mean?
Well,
I
because
don't
that's the
like
thing,
a
like,
chicken egg roll.
because like what he's
Yeah, I
talking
think it's the
about, like,
contents.
yeah, like the steak and cheese egg roll is
I-
just steak and cheese inside the
I'm sure if
wrapper.
I tried something
delicious.
like of those different variations, it'd be cool. But like I just meant like the standard,
Traditional.
your standard egg roll that you would normally find. You know what I mean? At like the Chinese spot
Yeah,
or whatever.
I can
I'm not
understand
into
that.
them, bro.
I agree with you on that. But we're living in the golden age of egg rolls now. Like every
Dude,
restaurant you go
honestly-
to has something else in an
Dude.
egg roll.
I
Golden
would
age.
probably fuck up like a pizza egg roll, bro.
Yes.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
that's
dude.
basically
Like,
a
that would
pizza
be
roll,
fun.
right? Like
Yeah,
it's
but
very
like
similar.
with the
Yeah, yeah,
crunchier texture, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, actually, you're right. If you have a like say a deep fried pizza roll, that would pretty much be a pizza egg roll.
Yeah, I don't know why that. I just felt like I needed to say that. I'm just like, yeah, I don't like regular egg rolls, man.
Dude, I actually got
get that.
Chinese takeout last night, and it was a brand new place I'd never tried before, and it's obviously like in a pretty small ass town, and their egg roll was fucking really good, dude. It's probably one of the top. Dude, it'd be in the top 1% of egg rolls I've ever had. I would think that I
Really?
probably have had like 1,000. Like, dude, I can't even think of one that would be even better. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was crazy, dude. There was meat inside of it. There was like bean sprouts, a little bit of like
Yeah,
seasoned
it's probably like
meat,
a chicken egg
dude.
roll.
Like you
What's
actually
that?
could taste everything that was supposed to be inside
It's
it.
probably like a chicken egg roll or something, dude.
I don't know. I've never had anything with meat in it, but and you do their like the actual egg roll part. The pastry part was like fucking really good too. It's like kind of crispy on the outside, a little bit softer, like nice. Oh man, it was fucking a really good egg roll.
Yeah, dude. Golden age of egg rolls, indeed. I mean, we could do buffalo chicken.
Dude,
Let's
I
go with a
would
buffalo
fuck
chicken
PB
egg
and J egg roll.
Dude, we're starting the food talk
Yo.
early.
I mean, I just want to like, I want to parlay this into this notion of eating well though when it comes to this whole fitness talk
Hey,
because
nice transition. I like that.
that's the thing, right? It's like an egg roll wrapper can be an excellent vessel depending on what we put in it, right? Like if I'm loading it full of chicken, then I'm making a good decision versus if I do the PB and J.
Dude, peanut butter
Make
and
a
jelly
valid point.
egg roll, dude. That'd be nutty. Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, I have cheat meals on the weekends. I have cheat meals during the week. I actually don't like to call them cheat meals because I feel like it makes it like this forbidden fruit. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended on the food and fruit thing.
But
But
it's like you earn those days for all the time you put in during the week, eating healthy. Like, you know what? Treat myself.
yeah, it's 80
treat
20.
day
I mean,
instead of a cheat
70 30, whatever you want. Like,
Yeah.
it's always about trends in the right direction. So it's like, okay, if you're someone that gets takeout 6 days a week, right? And for the next month, you decide you want to do takeout 5 days a week, and then you want to cook that other 2 days. That's a win. You know what I'm saying? And that's like from our last discussion, it doesn't have to be all in. That's like one of the biggest barriers to fitness is people think they have to flip their worlds upside down. And it's like, bro, eat your goddamn egg rolls, but just eat a little less of them. And then, maybe switch it out for something else, like, a healthier takeout option. Or like, for example, when I get pizza, dude, if I get a buff chick pizza, I'm going with the grilled chicken instead of the fried, which I don't always do that, but good decision. And I'll get double the chicken. Now, if I eat half a large pizza, sure, it's going to be 1,500 calories, but I'm going to get like 80 grams of protein on that between the cheese and the chicken and everything else. So it's like, if your goal is to, build muscle, you're going to need that protein. So those are just like the things you can do. And like, that's the mindset you should have when it comes to nutrition, and getting better.
Well, and that's an interesting point too, because I think that a really cool thing that happens with the body is that the more muscle mass that we start to carry, the greater that caloric intake that we need just to sustain ourselves is. And so we kind of get like, not to say that everybody wants to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Olympia size, guys who can eat 5,000-6,000 calorie meals every day to sustain themselves. But like the more that we build up on that muscle mass, the more that we actually have to eat just to sustain ourselves. It allows you a little bit more wiggle room to do those things like, all right, well, I can eat that piece of pizza today because I need those calories to sustain myself. Not that it's necessarily great advice, but technically speaking, like if you're trying to lose weight, as long as you're in caloric deficit, you're going to lose weight.
Yeah, it's like you could probably do that, like you're saying, but you can't do it like every time. Be like, yo, I worked hard today. Today I'm just gonna fucking eat this. And then the very next day you're like, I'm gonna just eat this. And you just keep on going and you're constantly just eating trash just because you worked hard. Imagine if you didn't like eat like trash like 50% of the time. I'm sure that if you're working that hard, you're gonna have results in some manner.
One hand
It's like
kind of
the
washes
math.
the other. Yeah. And, it's you're talking about mindset. Usually when people do put in more work, like if you're going to the gym 1 to 3 days a week, you'll make healthier decisions throughout the week. Like, for example, I'm the kind of person I won't clean the outside of my car unless I vacuum it and do the interior too. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Like
There's
it
some
can't
like
just look good
that's
when you're driving. Like if somebody were to
yeah,
jump in your car, they'd be like, "Oh, your car is dirty because it looked dirty, or it's clean because it looked clean." I get
yeah. It's just like I'll do both of those things. So it's fitness and nutrition. I still have the nights that I come home because I work out in the morning and then I go to work. There's still the nights that I'll have McDonald's, but if I have really like specific goals on strength, then I know I'm going to skip the McDonald's and have the chicken that I have in the fridge that I'm supposed to have. But most of the time, if you're working out, it will just generally push you in the right direction because you're going to want to eat better. Now, the other reason why that happens is because when you start to build a steady workout routine, like you're in there 3 days a week and you start to notice these performance indicators, you're trying to achieve progressive overload, like we talked about last time, getting a little bit stronger each time, or adding an extra rep or an extra 2 to 5 pounds on, say, your bench press or whatever it may be. When you have that steady baseline of that 3 days a week, when you eat like shit, guess what? You're going to notice in the gym. So it gives you like this, almost like this little like tempo to go off of. When you start lifting consistently, you notice that the nutrition is going to affect the way you perform in the gym. So that's another reason why people tend to eat better when they start working out.
Man, it's funny that you say that. Just recently, I was like talking to some other friends, and one of the guys was like, "Man, the other day, he's like, I was out there working out, and so he has like a gym set up in his garage. He lives in Florida, so it's probably like pretty ideal for him." And so he goes out there and he's like, "I was just working out," and he's like, I've been stuck at like I think he said it was like 195 on the bench press. Like he was just stuck there. He'd been stuck there for like 2 weeks, and he thought that like, man, I've been being consistent. Like I should be like getting stronger. And then he's like, and then I started to think, oh, like, are you eating well? Like, are you sleeping well? And he was answering no to all these because he was like eating poorly and he was like getting less sleep. And like, that's probably what was limiting him, like when it came to trying to like get to that new level. So he just like had to like completely pull himself back and plan on as to like how he can attain making more weight by being like more healthy when he's eating and like sleeping a little bit, maybe an hour more a night or something like that. But it's crazy like how little all these little things make a difference. So just when you said that, like that's what spurred that thought.
A nice little light bulb moment. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting because that makes me think of, I've been listening to a lot of interviews with Mike Metzer,
Mm.
and his outlook on training, and I find it really interesting because I've kind of started to play with some of his teaching, specifically, arms. Every guy, that's one of the first things people see on you, right, is how big are your arms. And so we want to grow those arms quickly so that we could start to get that testosterone and that ego boost that we're looking for when we're trying to work out. And I'll tell you what, starting to pay attention to the way that Metzer is talking, I started putting in that work specifically in my arms, in the preacher curl. And where I used to do a 50 to 60 pound controlled set for a series of 3, 12 reps sets. Now I'm doing 95 to 100 pounds for 8 to 10 reps. And pretty soon we're going to up to the next step so that I can drop those reps back down and continue to grow. And the thing is just as Metz is talking about, I'm seeing the really rapid growth from pushing the stimulus to that level. And that's kind of, to me, inspiring because at the end of the day, right, we understand that it's not an overnight thing, but when you can learn to push yourself to those points to find where that max is without hurting yourself, because controlled rep is the important key thing to, that we could probably focus here on a second.
Never sacrifice form for weight. That's
exactly
just like simple baseline. So everyone just assume that as we move forward.
Controlled rep is extremely important. Like, I'm not talking that I'm throwing my own body weight around to get this 95
you don't
up,
have to lift heavy to gain muscle.
Yeah, you need to be able to control that rep slowly. And that's the thing that I think is really cool about what Metz is talking about, is not even allowing momentum if possible. Like, it hurts. It's impressive, but it gets the job done. And I like it, man.
The eccentric.
Yeah, dude. That negative space.
The lowering. Yeah. So basically, guys, when you lift any kind of weight or whatever, you have the concentric movement and the eccentric movement. And the concentric is the flexing, the shortening of the muscle. And the eccentric is the lengthening. So like if you think of a squat, like the eccentric is moving down, or a bench press, the eccentric is moving down, the concentric is moving up. And more damage is done during the eccentric movement. So what Sean's talking about with that slow and control, oh baby, yeah, you're doing a lot of damage there, which in the world of strength training is good. Now, not too much to the point where you're sore for days. That's another thing that turns people off of fitness, is they go too hard too early. Now, your first week or two back, no matter what, you're going to be sore. You're going to have to suck it up. But you should have like a little bit of tenderness the next day where it feels good. Like, ooh, I did something.
Yeah, a little bit of that swole, as people talk.
Exactly.
That sort of a feeling. It's a little tight.
Yeah. But if you're gimping around, 3 days after your leg workout, it's called DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. What you're actually doing there most of the time is you're having a negative effect, in the sense that your body's actually not going to be able to repair all the damage you've done. So sometimes that will set you back. Now, don't get me wrong, like when you're going to the gym, sometimes you just want to fucking get after it and you just want to go to town, or you're trying to set a PR. It's okay. But we're talking about the people that go in and try to be extremely sore every time. That's not enjoyable. It's not a way to live life.
No.
And
at the end of the day, I think that level of soreness is an indicator that you are probably sacrificing some form in really key places, because if you were in that controlled proper form, you shouldn't be getting that kind of sore, because that's the point, right? Is that we're trying to understand our physical capability and our physical limitations basically at every stage. And if we're moving past the beginner stage of I'm walking into the gym for the first time, and now I'm into this point that I understand what I'm doing here, then we need to be really hyper focused on that controlled movement now. And I think it's interesting that I think this is where I find a lot of people start to fall off, and it's just it's so much easier to just go in, throw the stack around. I did my 4 reps that I always do, or my 4 sets that I always do, and then I move on, and then they just kind of sit there and stagnate, and it becomes
monotonous.
Yeah. And it's interesting to me that that's where we lose a lot of people in this. Is that I think it's a missed opportunity to make it a lifestyle, if that makes
Mm,
sense.
yeah, no, that's a good way to put it. And what you're talking about is, I love that you brought that up, because people, when they get into the gym and they put in those first couple of months, or even up to like a year, even 18 months, um, newbie gains are a thing. So you can actually get away with improper programming, some improper form if you avoid injury, and even like just, you know, a bunch of stuff that you can get away with as a quote unquote newbie, because that stimulus is so new to you. You can basically do anything and you're going to get results. But what Sean's talking about is what happens when those quote unquote newbie gains and that new stimulus leaves you. And there's this old saying in weightlifting, like, you have to shock the body. Now, that's true and it's not true. You do have to introduce novelty, because of what Sean was just talking about. You do the same shit all the time, whether you're doing it right or wrong. That signal that you send the body, because that's all we're doing at the gym, guys. We're not getting stronger at the gym. We get stronger when we sleep. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? We get stronger when we recover. So what's happening is that stimulus is up here, that, those first 3, 6, 12 months, but you're doing the same shit and it's going down. That stimulus is going down. And then what some people do is, now you get nutrition into it. Like, you need protein and sleep to build muscle. Like, that, if we want to make it really, bare bones here, you need protein and sleep. Sleep's when the protein's the fuel to repair and build the muscle, and the sleep's giving the workers the time to do it. So, sometimes people will do the same workout and then they'll read an article on protein, and then they start to get, like, the stimulus doesn't go high, but the results start to go up again. But then what happens a year after that? They're like, oh shit, I need to change my routine. So they're like, oh, I'm gonna shock the body. I'm gonna do this one day. I'm gonna do this one day. I'm gonna introduce all this new stuff. But then, to what Sean was talking about earlier, that progressive overload, like, okay, I'm using 65s now. Then I'm gonna use 70s. And then I'm gonna try to go to 80s. And then maybe I'll go back down to 60 and increase my reps. So that increases what's called volume. But novelty can be introduced within a regiment, so you can still continue to get stronger. Because if, we all have our limitations genetically, and I mean by physics, because if you just talk progressive overload, I should be able to bench press 1,000 pounds by now. But that's not how it works. We have our limitations too. But yeah, the
we're all
novelty,
not built and gifted like Arnold.
yeah, exactly. So the novelty will run out, and that's where, like, if we're talking, today's discussion is going to be a little bit more about advanced things, and that's where, like, phasing your workouts will really do you a lot of justice. 3 to 6 week, they're called meso phases, and you kind of can keep the same core of your workout. So say you like to do chest and tris one day, back and bis one day. By the way, I fully recommend doing total body training majority of the year. You're not a bodybuilder, don't lift like a bodybuilder. But so if you're doing like a push pull leg, whatever that may be, you can keep that same routine, but start phasing out your reps, like Sean was talking about. Like, yeah, train in a 2 to 5 rep range to train the nervous system and get really strong. But do it for 4 weeks and then move into a hypertrophy phase, which is like that bodybuilder 8 to 12. That's where you really want to be slow and controlled. So a bodybuilder tempo is called a 4-2-2. There's many other tempos, but you do a 4-second eccentric. So 4, 3, 2, 1, pause for 2 seconds, and then a 2-second concentric. If you do that slow and controlled, man, you're going to get that mean titty pump. You're going to love it. And then you can go into an endurance phase. So after 4 weeks of that, guess what? Now we're going to 12 to 16 reps, or even 15 to 20. Because basically all the studies show that all rep ranges up to about 20 will build muscle. And what's best for you is probably what you hate doing the most, because you're not doing it a lot. It's true. So, but I just also want to preface this too, guys. One of my philosophies as a trainer is, the more specific your goals are, the more specific your training and diet need to be. So if you just want to feel good and be healthy, you don't need this crazy intricate program. Stick to the fundamentals and you'll be okay. But if you want to walk around on the beach and have all the MILFs looking at you, then maybe you need to dial it in more and have some more specific training to match your specific goals.
It's it's a great thing, and that's, folks, is where, guys like Blake really do come in, as personal coaches for hitting those key goals, because not everybody is looking for that opportunity to just, have a couple beers with the boys on the weekend and not feel like a fat slob on Monday. um and of course, I imagine, that you're killing it right now with that. I know you had that really cool promotion you were doing when I last saw you several months back now, where you had everybody checking in with you. How'd that all turn out?
What do you mean, checking it? The promotion. Um,
You were doing a
sorry.
contest where people were winning all sorts of like
Oh,
gift cards and everything
yeah,
like that.
yes. So it was a summer confidence challenge. So the whole idea for this was for people that, because I started it in like March. And let's be real, if you have 50 pounds to lose and you want to get ready for summer, like that's kind of, you started a little late. You should have started this time the year before. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with short term aesthetic goals like that either. But our whole idea was to implement an education system with the programming so people could learn how to build sustainable practice. So we had a lot of people in that group that only worked out 1 day a week. And guess what? They're still working out now. Most of them are up to 2 or 3 days a week now because they were under the understanding that they had to go to the gym 5 days a week. And then we got them into our challenge. It was like $100 a person. The winner took the winners took home like $300 in gift cards. We did some local cross pollination with some different local businesses, like a health food store, and I bought a gift card from them. But I'd say we had 10 people in the challenge, which was nothing crazy, but I wanted it small. Not that I have a huge Instagram following and I could have got 50 people, but it was good to keep it intimate like that because I could watch everybody. And every week they got a new piece of educational content, whether it was a podcast or a
Come here.
or an article. And then their job was to report back what they learned from it. So it kept that dialogue open. And then obviously the normal stuff I do as a trainer, if they had weight loss goals, tracking their calories for just a short period of time. And most of the time when someone wants to lose weight, I don't even take anything out of their diet unless they're eating a lot. I actually add more things into it because most people need to reverse diet anyway. But yeah, no, so that was a cool little program I did. And most of the people stayed with it. So yeah, that was fun.
I love
Just
that.
a quick question. What is reverse diet mean?
Ooh, good. This is a juicy one. I love this. So reverse dieting, think of it like this. Your metabolism is like a furnace, okay? So you have something called your basal metabolic rate. So if me as Blake were just to lay here all day and do nothing, my body's still going to burn calories to keep me alive. So you have your basal metabolic rate, and then you kind of have your NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So it's like the calories you burn just doing the shit throughout the day. So if you work like a regular 9 to 5, um, your body's gonna burn calories keeping you alive, and then you're gonna burn calories just doing things like the dishes and walking the dog and stuff like that. It's calories burned, but not with the intention of burning calories. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that's your daily caloric expenditure. Um, is going to be at a certain baseline. Now, some people's might be 2,000. Some people's might be 4,000. Like Sean was saying before, those big giant bodybuilders that eat 5,000 calories a day, they have a very high metabolic rate because their body has so much muscle, and muscle is calorically expensive. So when I have someone that comes to me, and this is like 90% of the time what it is they've already lost 10 to 15 pounds and they plateau. So they can't lose any more weight. So I say, okay, weight loss is your goal. I'm not going to ask you to track calories the rest of your life because that's no way to live. But I'm a GPS. If I'm going to tell you how to get somewhere, I need to know where you are. So the first thing we'll do is track their calories and protein. I don't care about the other macros. That usually comes more down to lifestyle. So what's your calories? So if I have a guy your size that's only eating, 1,400 calories a day, right? Or maybe 1,600. Well, that's about as low as you can go without being malnourished. So, in order to lose weight, we need to cut calories. Like we were saying before, you need to be in a caloric deficit. Well, if your daily caloric expenditure is like, or intake is right around 1600, what am I going to do? Am I going to cut you to 1200? You know how
No,
little
it's-
1200 calories is?
that's no way to live.
And then guess what's going to happen? Say you got 30 pounds to lose. Guess what? I cut you down to 1200. You might lose 3, you might lose 10 pounds. Depends on, everyone's different. Okay, cool. Now I'm at 1200 calories. My eye sockets are sinking to the back of my head. I can't sleep. I can't get it up from my girl because I have no energy. You know what I'm saying? And now we're at 1200 calories. Oh, let's cut you to 800. Now the body's really hurting. Now the body's not going to give up weight because it really thinks it's in trouble. Now maybe we lose 3 pounds. Well, now we're stuck here and we're only eating 800 to 1200 calories a day. So think of reverse dieting in the opposite way of losing weight, in the sense that we're gonna add calories slowly over time, but without gaining weight. So same scenario. Okay, I have someone at 1600 calories. That's what they're eating, and they can't lose any weight. They've plateaued. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add 200 calories a day. So we're gonna bump them to about 1800 calories. That's enough where the body's gonna start to adapt, but you're not gonna put on the weight that you lost. And then this is where it gets tricky because some people can adapt to this very quickly, but some people can't. So our goal for someone in that situation would be to get them back up to, I mean, if they're a guy, any one of our sizes, I'd want them back up to 3000 calories. So what we're going to do is slowly add calories over the course of 3 to 6 months, maybe even longer, until we're at the same weight that we started, but we increase calories to about 3000. And the easiest way to do that is to start adding protein. So if you're a 200-pound guy and you're only eating 1600 calories, there's no way you're getting adequate protein to build muscle. So the best way to start with that would be, okay, let's add 200 to 400 calories just via protein, because protein has a high thermic effect. So you actually burn, if you have 100 calories of protein, you're actually going to burn about 20 of those calories just digesting it. Versus carbs and fat, it's only about 3%. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Because we have to unwind all those amino acids. So the best way to start a reverse diet, and I know this is a lot, I'm sorry.
No, but, I appreciate it.
Yeah, the best way to start a reverse diet, and for that avatar that's about 200 pounds at 1600 calories, is, hey, let's just add protein. Because if I had to guess, someone's at 1600 calories, they're probably only getting between 100 and 140 maybe grams of protein a day. And a 200-pound male that's trying to build muscle, which should always be the goal for weight loss, not bodybuilder mass, but just good quality lean muscle, you should be at between 160 and 200 grams of protein a day, about 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. So for reverse dieting, that's, to put it simply, you add calories slowly over time so the metabolism can readapt to that new baseline that's higher without gaining weight. Because then what we do, think about it, at the end of 6 months, they've increased their calories, they're feeling strong, they've put on muscle because of the extra protein. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time, once we get there, we hang out there for a bit, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, let the body settle in, kind of like a nice steak on the counter, letting it get to room temp. And then what we do is we can go into a cut from there. So cutting from 3000 calories, okay, we cut down to 2600. We're still getting protein. We're still getting enough carbs to have energy. We're feeling good. Now the weight's going to start to come off. And then maybe we can cut to, 22. And then God forbid, maybe we do get back down to 2000. But guess what? We've lost 15, 20 pounds. We can hang out there and then reverse diet again. And the whole point of that, guys, is how many times have you known someone that has lost, 15 to 30 pounds just by cutting calories and running on the treadmill? Guess what happens 6 months later when you see them?
Right back
They
to
put the weight back on.
Yeah.
And they usually look worse because what they've done is just destroy their metabolism.
And that's an interesting thing. Like, I know we talked about it a bit in the last episode, but I definitely want to bring it back up again. It's just the fact that at the end of the day, all that heavy amount of cardio is doing for us is putting our bodies in an adaptive state. And it's not building us large amounts of muscle, and it's not helping us maintain healthy weight. It's just helping us stay in in a survival runnable state, which is great if you want to be able to run marathons, but I don't think that's most of our goals either.
No, and people that do run marathons, they need a shit ton of calories. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yep.
But a lot of cardio, like too much cardio, that sends a signal. Remember earlier when I said that muscle is very calorically expensive? Well, you're not using those big, strong muscles to do long distance cardio. Sprinting's great. Perfect example. Look at a cross country runner, look at their build, and then look at a sprinter. Look at their build. You know what I'm saying? The cross country runner is typically thinner, and then the sprinter is going to have big, chunky thighs. So cardio, it's like think of this, guys. Say you walk to work every day, and you were towing like a wagon behind you with cinder blocks that you were going to use at work. Wicked unrealistic, I know. But every day you only use 2 cinder blocks, and you're dragging 10 with you every day. Well, after like a week, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck am I doing? Bringing 10 cinder blocks? I'm gonna unload 2." And then you're like, "Oh, I'm still using just 2 a day. Let me unload 2 more." That's your body unloading muscle because it's not using it. Like those kind of muscles aren't required for long distance cardio. So doing like a ton of cardio like that, and don't get me wrong, guys, cardio has its place. Like pairing cardio with some good strength training, like that's ideal. But too much cardio is just going to tell the body, like, hey, let's pare down muscle because it's too expensive.
Yep. 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 And that's one of those weird conundrums that I'm kind of learning myself as I've been getting into this, subject even deeper, is that it's like so many of us want to be, healthy and comfortable, and at the end of the day, there's a balancing act that I think a lot of us kind of miss, because it's you need a little bit of that cardio for sure. It's great for the blood flow. It's great to get that, mental health going too, because when you get that blood flowing, you can see endorphins running. Um,
And your
but then
heart, don't forget it's good for your heart.
100%, well, cardiovascular health, yeah, absolutely. But then on top of that, you've got the absolute need to build muscle in order to maintain and lose weight. And I tell you what, the maintaining of the weight is where that moderation and balance becomes key. Because as we were talking about at the beginning with food, uh, an apple pie egg roll is a fantastic thing, but eating one is okay. Eating a tray of 7 is probably the bad idea.
Yeah, 100% hashtag balance, dude. And like there's this saying, you can't outwork a bad diet. The amount of calories you burn in a workout, like really doesn't matter. Like you can eat 500 calories in 5 minutes. You cannot burn 500 calories in 5 minutes. That's like a good framework to look at it. But while we're on the cardio versus strength training, for weight loss, the other important thing to remember about that is if you take an hour of good quality program strength training versus an hour of cardio, truth, you will burn more calories in that 1 hour of cardio than strength training. However, over the next 24 hours, your body fighting to repair the muscles that were damaged and satisfying that adaptation is going to burn more calories in that 24-hour cycle than you would have during the cardio. So that's another reason why it's good for weight loss.
That's a fantastic point. It's a fantastic point. And that's one of the things that I like that we're trying to encourage here is that it's, again, not everyone, and I don't think anybody who's listening here or watching us, if you're one of our viewers, I don't think any of us are looking to take fitness to that extreme. None of us are trying to win awards for our physique. But as we had said last time we had Blake on the show, I don't think any of us are kidding ourselves if, about this. Like, at the end of the day, we do want to look good in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could be honest, like we do want to look good in the mirror. Like there is a wonderful feeling when you walk by the mirror and go, oh shit, look at that guy. Is that a muscle?
Everyone wants to look good naked, dude.
Yeah. Even if it's just when you see yourself in the mirror after you hop out the shower, you don't want to be like, that's me. I've been there. Scared myself once or twice. It's funny. I laugh at the guys that work now. I'm like, see, this is why I go to the gym, because I don't want to be a slob in my 40s. You know, I don't want to be the guy that I've talked to that regrets not taking it seriously in his 30s.
Yeah, and
So
strength training in particular too, dude. I mean, what people don't realize is the longer you do it, it's almost the easier it gets because the muscle memory and everything else. So that's a fantastic point, Sean. Don't do it for you now. Do it for you in the future. Because if you already have this great foundation going into your late 30s, 40s, and even guys I know in their 50s, like they've already built the principle, they've built the practice, the discipline. So it's just part of their lifestyle, one. But two, muscle memory is a crazy thing. Like you take someone that's worked out for 10, 15 years and they take off a year, watch them 4 weeks after they start again. It comes back pretty quick.
I'll tell you, I mean, there's this one guy I look at and like I've never really spoken to him, but I call him the gym teacher. Cause like he literally looks like this dude has probably been like a high school gym teacher since 1984. He's got his haircut, his mustache have not changed. I swear to you. But I love it because like I watch him every morning and I see the way that this man, and I mean, I'm not trying to judge, but I've got to say, just looking at him, he's got to be, you know, in his late 50s or early 60s. But I watch him give it his all every day when he's there. And I'm like, dude, man, the gym teacher is getting it in today. Hell yeah. Good for him. You know what I mean? Like it's cool to see that shit because this is a dude who has laid that foundation. And I said one of these days, I swear I'm gonna ask him what he does for a living because I gotta know if he's really a gym teacher.
Dude, if he's a gym teacher, there's no way you're keeping a straight face.
Bro, like, no, honestly, like the thing that kills
I'm a
me.
phys ed teacher. What?
Well, this is the thing. Like the thing that kills me is I look at this dude and I'm like, I want to walk up to him and be like, "Excuse me, is your name Mr. Daigle?" Like, I really think it was one of my gym teachers. That's the thing. Like, that's why I'm so convinced. I'm like,
Dude, that's an easy in though. Like you could just say that, and then
are
when
you
he
my
says,
middle
"What?"
school gym teacher?
Yeah, be like, I don't know, man. You just look like a gym teacher I had. Are you a gym teacher? And then
Well,
like,
and this is the thing is there's another woman because I'm part of that 5:30 club. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in there early in the morning. There's this other woman who also looks like a gym teacher, and I swear to freaking God, both of these people were like middle school gym teachers when I was a kid. And we're going back now. I mean, that would have been 20 some odd years ago. So like I could be tripping. I could be a pothead who's going in there still stoned from his edible the night before. Like, fuck, man. I think that dude was my gym teacher. Really?
John, you ever notice
You
how
should walk up to him and be like, "Hey, man, I think you're my gym teacher, dude."
He's like, fuck you. I was a physics teacher.
He was an English teacher.
You ever notice how that morning crew is the most consistent, Sean?
Mm-hmm.
Same damn people every single time.
Honestly, I love that because there's this couple of guys that I've kind of watched their progress over the last year in there where like they started out, they would come in and they would hit the the treadmill together. And I'd watch as they, spending like their 40 minutes or whatever, continuously working their incline and everything, getting their walk on. And I watched as they both started to change their interests in the gym. And so like one of the dudes kind of paired up with another guy and they started doing some heavy lifting. And so now like I've been watching as this dude's over here and he's putting in work now, like doing fucking bench presses, deadlifts, the whole nine, while his buddy is over here hitting the incumbent bike. And I'm like, I'm making up narratives in my head now as I'm watching these two because I'm like, oh boy, on the recumbent bike's like, man, that used to be my dog. Like I'm telling myself right now that these guys are like brother-in-laws.
And they're like beefing sort of low key.
Like straight up. I'm in my head. I'm like, this is like the brother-in-laws, right? Like the wives and shit, right? So like, this is his brother-in-law, and he's like, man, like we used to do this together, and now I'm over here just doing my thing, and he's over there with this other guy, fucking just lifting, being all tough guy. But at the end of the day, like, look at the motherfucker, he's looking good, and like fucking bastard. Like,
Wow.
feeling all jealous and shit. Like I'm just making this whole narrative up in my head while I'm over here getting my lift on.
Yeah, why not, dude? You're not thinking about the work you're putting in, right? You're just like fucking enjoying your time.
Oh my
Making
god.
up
People
conversations between people.
Dude, people watching at the gym is one of my favorite.
I was gonna
things.
say that's probably got to be one of the best things because there's so many different walks of life that are in the gym. You got the dudes that are there to get swole, the dudes that are in there that just to stay fit. You got the people that are just starting. You got the old dudes that are still putting in work. You got the
That
ladies
never
in there
use a
fucking
towel in
running
the
like
fucking change rooms. Yeah.
You
those
get-
guys.
Oh yeah, dude. Old guys just powdering their sack in the locker room. That'll never. And then no, my favorite, dude.
You'll never
my
get used to
favorite.
that, huh?
My favorite is the dying breed of they wear the work boots with the cut off jeans, and they bring a
Oh.
duffel bag. They bring a duffel bag with them everywhere. But now that they're older, they just use the machines, and they got like the chalk in their bag for no damn reason. Dude, that's my favorite gym goer. But to put a positive spin on this, to what Sean was saying, he's watching them following their story. When you're that guy, they're watching your story too.
I know, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you're an inspiration to those other people. Like, and it's funny because that morning crew specifically, if someone's not there for a week and then you see them and like, maybe you've like, re-racked their weights or something. Like I know everyone's name there in the morning now. Now, granted, they know I'm a trainer, so they like to pick my brain, but like the gym's a community for me. Like I know everyone that works there. It's a very special place for me. And when someone's not there for a week, you get concerned. You're like, dude, where's Brian been? Like, he hasn't been here since last Tuesday. And then they come back and, you find out like a relative died or something like that. And guess what? Like, you're a great support system for them. Not to say you're bringing them lasagna or something, but like they get back in there and they give you that look. They're like, oh, I feel normal again.
No, it's so true though, because like there are people that you see and you're like, all right, I haven't seen that person here before. And then like there are times you see people like, all right, holy shit, they're back. Like I haven't seen them in a couple weeks. Like obviously I'm at a Planet Fitness. I feel like people in a Planet Fitness are a little bit more reserved. You know what I mean? I don't think
it's a different environment for
sure. But it's also a more eclectic mix, I think, which is kind of where it gets entertaining, right? Because I've literally I could be in the gym and watch grandma, this little old lady in here getting her chest press on. And she's got her little weightlifting gloves on and shit. And I'm like, do your grandkids know how badass you are? Like, do they know? Like, do you just curl your grandkids when they come over? Like,
Hey, grandma, and they're putting up more weight than you. You're like,
you know what I'm
"Damn, grandma."
saying?
Dude, we got a guy,
Damn,
a guy that
grandma.
does straight parkour, dude. There's a dude at my gym that like grabs the shit and just climbs all over it every day. Literally doing like parkour in the gym. And all my friends think he's a serial killer. I get Snapchats from them. They're like, dude, your boy's here. And I'm like, he's actually kind of a nice guy. Shout out to Nick. He's a good dude, but bro, I can't explain it. He'll grab the pull-up bar, throw his feet up, like then just bring him down and then jump and like do like a look, like like he was on
Did
camera.
anybody see that?
Parkour.
And like
Parkour.
you don't want to stare, but you have to stare.
You got
Because
dude. He
he's
wants
doing
you
it.
to stare. That's why he's doing it, bro.
So you can
Hey, I just give him one of these. I just give him one of these. I'm like, yeah.
I see you, bro. Don't worry, I see you.
Like, all right, brother, you're gonna be jumping off across the roof. So if I ever hear about it on the news, I know who it was.
Dude, one day you just gotta walk by
I'll be
him.
quiet.
Like you gotta walk by him in the middle of whatever he's doing and just be like, parkour, bro. And then just like fucking walk away.
No, I'll do a roll up to him or something.
Yeah,
I'll do like a somersault.
Dude.
Parkour.
A little cartwheel or something.
Walk up to him.
That'd be
Are
actually
you
fucking super fun.
Spider-Man?
Dude, we had a guy lose his thumb the other day.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably more like 8 weeks ago, but it feels like the other day. I didn't see it. I was there like right as it ended, but he was on the like a hack squat variation. So it's like you step up on a platform and you have these two pads that come up that go on your shoulders, and then there's like a lever that you lift up and move the lever so you can like go down. And he like put his thumb under the lever and just dropped it, dude, and just lost like the top, like basically from the thumbnail up.
Whoa!
Yeah, dude. Not to discourage anyone from going to the gym. That is easily preventable, people.
Listen,
Yeah,
safety
careful,
first. God
apparently. That's
damn.
really all it is.
I mean, I've tweaked my back a couple times, but I've never lost a limb at the gym.
Yeah, man. Whoa.
Okay, so Blake, I have
That's
a
the
question
tip,
for you.
bro.
Shoot.
For people that are like actually, trying to make gains, for people that are like trying to be stronger and whatever else, so they're like going to be moving up their weights and like trying to go for personal records, all that stuff. Like, how important is it to have like a lifting partner or like a spotter? Is it like actually possible? Because like for that example, right? Like I know that you probably wouldn't have a spotter for, but like for something else that might happen, right? Like maybe somebody's like using some machine and like the handle comes down and it's like on them, whatever, or they just don't have the pressure to like put up that last bench press and the bar is coming back down on them. Like how important is it to have those people? Because like obviously if you're just going to work out and like everything's like well within reason, like you're not trying for any personal bests and you're trying to like bench press 300 pounds or whatever. But for people that are like, is that really important to like kind of get that buddy that you can go to the gym with so you can spot each other when you're lifting heavier weights and stuff?
All right, Shedheads, that's part 1 of our visit with Blake from Body Language. So if you want to go ahead and get more of this fitness content, stay tuned, because next week we're going to wrap it up with part 2. Of course, go ahead and check out shedtimepodcast.com. You know what that is, right? It's the home for all things Shedtime Podcast. And otherwise, you know what I'm going to say. Don't let the bastards get you down. Be cool. Don't be a dick, and whatever it is that you do, be sure and have some fun. It's the Shedtime Podcast, and it's time to roll on up and roll on out.
Dynavap! Looking to cut the cord on your dry herb vape? Dynavap. Trying to get the best taste from your herb? Dynavap. Ready to take your sesh to the next level? Then meet Dynavap, the best way to vape your flower or concentrate. Concentrates? That's right, your flower or hash can be vaped using Dynavap. Check out Dynavap.com to learn more. That's Dynavap.com. Lose the ash? Dynavap.
What's going on, Shedheads? It's your boy Frames Janklin. Are you looking to step up your match game or have a raw copper, brass, or stainless mod or RDA that you're absolutely tired of polishing? Then you need to go and hit up my man Ashton of Palmer's Powders. He does some absolutely amazing powder coating work. He offers many different colors and finishes at an absolutely killer price. This man is taking powder coating to a whole new level, and he can make your setup an absolute masterpiece. You can go follow him over on Instagram at Palmer's Powders, and you can go check out pricing on his website, palmerspowders.com. That's palmerspowders.com. And as always, let's just vape on, Shedheads.
I want you to think of your favorite rebuildable right now. Yeah, okay, so you have a layer cake in your hand, and now you're about... Oh, sorry, yeah, that's not everyone's favorite. That's just mine. So think of your favorite rebuildable atomizer. Think about how good of a vape it produces for you. Now, take that and amplify it. And the way that you amplify that is you put in some Breezestone coils. Breezestone coils are handcrafted in Adelaide, Australia. They're made from some of the finest quality wire that you can get. I believe it's wire Buddha. You take those coils, you take them out of that phenomenal packaging that clearly shows how much care that Adam puts on the quality of his coils and the insurance that you get them in good shape. You put them in that favorite RDA, and guess what? You have coils that now sing better than Celine Dion. Go check out Breezestone coils. You can find them on localvape.com and also steelvalleyvapors.com. Suck, dude.